What if happiness isn't the peak of life, but the bait that keeps you weak? What if power, not pleasure, is what truly brings peace? And what if the price of real strength is the very comfort you've been told to chase? There's a quiet war inside you. One voice whispers, "Be happy, just relax, find peace." The other voice growls, "No, keep going, get stronger, win." Most people listen to the whisper. They chase comfort, pleasure, smiles, likes. They think happiness is the goal, the purpose, the highest ideal. But Miyamoto Musashi, the undefeated swordsman who walked alone, would have spat on that idea. He didn't choose happiness. He chose power. And he was right. This isn't some cozy video where I tell you to breathe deeply and journal your feelings. This is another war. The world doesn't reward the peaceful. It rewards the dangerous, the disciplined, the obsessed. And Musashi knew it. So, let me take you into the dark, cold mindset of a man who mastered death. Because if you want a life that actually matters, you'll have to kill the part of you that craves easy joy, the lie of happiness. Musashi's life was forged in blood. He wasn't born to privilege. He wasn't handed peace. He fought his first duel when was just a boy, and he won. Not by luck, by ruthlessness, by obsession. He understood something most people today are terrified to admit. Happiness is fleeting. Power is eternal. We live in an age of soft lies. Follow your bliss. Do what makes you happy. These are the mantras of the week. Happiness fades the moment life punches you in the face, which it always will. It's a mood, not a strategy. And moods make terrible gods. But power bends reality. Power protects. Power builds the life others only dream of. And here's the dark twist. When you become powerful, you gain access to a deeper happiness. One built on dominance, not dopamine. Musashi's way. Walk alone, die unshaken. Musashi never married, never settled, never softened. He lived with a blade in his hand and death in his mind. In his final writings, The Way of Walking Alone, he wrote 21 principles for life. Not one of them says, be happy. Instead, he says, do not pursue pleasure for its own sake. Do not fear death. Resentment and complaint are appropriate neither for oneself nor others. That's a man who stripped away the childish layers of comfort and stared directly into the abyss. And what did he find? Not despair, clarity. When you remove the illusion that life is supposed to be pleasant, you see the truth. Life is a battlefield, and the only ones who survive with their soul intact are warriors. Why power matters more. Power isn't just physical. It's inner control. It's emotional dominance. It's spiritual sharpness. It's the ability to walk through chaos with unshakable calm. When you choose power, you choose mastery over your mind, command over your time, the strength to face loss, betrayal, failure without crumbling. Happiness can't give you that. Happiness is fragile. Power is resilient. Power says, even if everything burns, I remain. In a world where softness is glorified, where weakness is disguised as virtue, the Musashi mindset is dangerous. And that's exactly why it's needed. The trap of pleasure. Here's what happens when you chase happiness. You become a slave. A slave to food, sex, validation, comfort. You stop growing. You shrink. Your edges dull. And eventually, you rot slowly, silently. Musashi chose the opposite. He chose a life of solitude, of battle, of mastery. He slept on the floor, ate little, trusted no one. Why? Because every distraction weakens the blade. You want to feel better? That's your problem. You should want to become better because the only real pleasure comes when you've earned it with blood, sweat, and silence. And Musashi bled more than most ever will. Becoming dangerous is the point. This isn't about becoming cruel. It's about becoming dangerous. A man who cannot fight is not peaceful. He's harmless. And harmless men are disposable. Musashi understood that life doesn't ask you for permission. It strikes. It steals. It tests you. And if you're not dangerous, if you haven't forged yourself into something untouchable, you'll break. Your happiness won't save you. Your habits will. Your discipline, your edge. Imagine standing in a duel. Just you and another man. No one's coming to help you. No second chances, no likes, no pity. Just the cold breath of death on your neck. What saves you then? Your smile? No. Your skill, your will, your power. That's the core of Musashi's code. A story of obsession. In his final years, Musashi isolated himself in a remote cave. Ryondo. No comforts, no followers, no distractions, just stone walls, silence, and the relentless pursuit of mastery. While other men sought titles and luxuries, Musashi wrote Duto, the way of walking alone. 21 brutal principles carved from a life of war, solitude, and self-discipline. He wasn't seeking happiness. He was purging weakness. He denied pleasure, avoided possessions, and trained even as his body aged. Because obsession doesn't retire, purpose doesn't expire. He didn't die chasing dopamine. He died sharpened like a blade, unbroken in mind, and undefeated in spirit. And you think motivation videos and gym selfies will get you there. Musashi's strength wasn't born from noise. It was born from silence, from walking away, from comfort, from applause, from anything that dulled his edge. Obsession made him immortal. What's making you forgettable? Why you need to choose power today? Look around. Most people are soft, addicted, lost, chained to their emotions. They think happiness is a latte and a playlist, but they cry when life gets hard. They fold when pressure builds. They whine when things don't go their way. You weren't born for that. You were born to sharpen, to hunt, to build. You were born to walk alone if needed, not out of bitterness, but out of purpose. When you choose power, you choose to train instead of complain, to build instead of blame, to cut away weakness until all that remains is something dangerous, something beautiful, something like Musashi. The reward, peace through power. Ironically, when you stop chasing happiness and choose power instead, true peace finds you because you don't fear anymore. You don't chase anymore. You own your life. Musashi died undefeated, not just in combat, but in spirit. He didn't sell out. He didn't bend to the world. He didn't delude himself to be liked or accepted. He became the sword, cold, focused, pure. A man who refined himself through pain, through war, through isolation until peace wasn't something he sought. It was something he became. Can you say the same about yourself? You can't buy that kind of peace. You can't fake it. You forge it through fire, discipline, and brutal self-honesty. The modern samurai mindset. You don't need to carry a katana to live like Musashi. You need to wake up with purpose. Cut what weakens you ruthlessly. Train until you scare your former self. Choose silence over noise. Walk alone if you must. And always, always stay sharp. Forget comfort. It's the poison that rots warriors from the inside. Forget applause. It's a leash. You can lose comfort. You can lose friends. You can lose everything. But if you never lose your edge, you'll never truly be defeated. That's the way of Musashi. That's the way of power. That's the way of the man who does not fold. In the Book of 5 Rings, he wrote, "From one thing, know 10,000 things. Remember this. Happiness is the candy the world uses to sedate you. Power is the medicine that will resurrect you. One makes you soft, the other makes you dangerous. You can either chase moments of pleasure or forge a legacy of strength, but not both. So choose. Will you die smiling and soft or dangerous and remembered? The blade is waiting. The path is clear now. All that's left is you. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more videos, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one. Power is not cruelty, it's command. Command over yourself, your fears, your fate. Musashi's lesson was never about rejecting joy. It was about transcending it. When you no longer depend on happiness, you become untouchable. You stop reacting and start ruling. You stop chasing and start creating. That is the quiet strength of a true warrior in a world obsessed with ease. In the end, you won't find power in smiles or praise. You'll find it in silence, solitude, and discipline. Because peace isn't found by avoiding the storm. It's found when you learn to walk through it unshaken.